diverting his attention. The distraction works. He charges after her as she bolts into the dark woods, her breath ragged with fear. She reaches a tall fence, spotting a carnival on the other side. With one desperate leap, she clambers over. But Leatherface isn't deterred. He saws through the barrier and storms into the carnival, his revving chainsaw sending people into a frenzy. Heather sprints to a mini Ferris wheel, leaps, and clings to a rising seat. Below, Leatherface paces, waiting. As she descends, danger inches closer. Just as she nears the ground, Officer Carl commands, "Freeze!" Leatherface doesn't hesitate. He hurls his chainsaw at Carl. The officer ducks just in time, but the momentary distraction allows Leatherface to vanish into the woods. Carl takes Heather in for questioning. Sheriff Hooper is already there, and as she describes the chainsaw-wielding maniac, his face pales. Could Jed still be alive after all these years? Heather confesses something else. She's just discovered she's a Sawyer. Carl pulls out a box labeled evidence and sets it on the table. "You won't believe what's in here," he mutters. Hooper orders Carl to leave and search for the killer. As soon as she's alone, Heather rifles through the files. The horrific truth unfolds before her eyes. Her family was slaughtered. No trial, no justice. The townspeople, the mayor, even her adoptive parents. They were all involved. Meanwhile, at the crash site, an officer radios in, "Nobody's here. Ryan and Nikki's corpses are gone." But there's a trail of blood leading away. The officer follows it, straight back to the house. The mayor, now livid, tells Hooper, "Jed can't be alive. We burned that place to the ground." But the officer's voice crackles through the radio. "Sheriff, the blood leads inside." He cautiously enters, broadcasting a live feed to Hooper and the mayor. As he follows the blood deeper into the basement, his flashlight trembles. The beam lands on a nightmarish sight. Kenny, Daryl, and Ryan's mutilated corpses. A freezer sits ominously in the corner. "Open it," the mayor commands. The officer inches forward. He grips the handle. Just as he lifts the lid, Nikki bursts out, screaming. Startled, the officer's reflex kicks in. He fires. A single shot. Nikki crumples, lifeless. The video feed cuts. Silence. Then, a deafening, wet thud. Leatherface strikes. The officer barely turns before the axe comes down. Again and again. Back at the station, Heather spreads the evidence across the table. With a trembling hand, she scrawls one word on a sheet: "Murderers." Meanwhile, Leatherface is back at his lair. With grotesque precision, he slices away the face of his latest victim and stitches it onto his own. Heather stumbles through the desolate streets, reaching a payphone. Her hands tremble as she dials Farnsworth. When he picks up, she doesn't waste time. "I know everything." A beat of silence. Then Farnsworth exhales, his voice low and urgent. "Meet me at the bar." At the dimly lit dive, he wastes no time. "I told you to read the letter immediately," he scolds. "Verna laid out everything you needed to know. But that's not the worst of it. Jed knows you're alive. He just doesn't know who you are. Yet." Before Heather can process this, the bar door slams open. The mayor storms in, eyes blazing with fury. Heather bolts, grabbing a knife on her way out. She barely makes it onto the street when the mayor's partner, Ollie, barrels into her with his car. Pain explodes through her body as she crashes onto the pavement. Ollie lunges from the vehicle to grab her, but she reacts instantly, slashing his face with the knife. Blood sprays, and she takes off into the night. She sprints until she nearly collides with Officer Carl. Gasping, she pleads, "Take me back to the bar. Farnsworth is in danger. The mayor is after me." Carl hesitates, then nods. She scrambles into the back seat, and they speed off. But something is wrong. Carl drives past the bar. Heather's stomach twists. "Carl, stop!" He doesn't. His phone buzzes, and as he answers, she hears a voice crackle over the CB radio. "The mayor. Bring her to the old slaughterhouse." Heather's blood runs cold. And then, realization. The mayor is Carl's father. Meanwhile, hidden in the shadows, Leatherface listens. A battered CB radio crackles in an old truck. He grips his chainsaw tighter. He knows where she's going. At the slaughterhouse, Carl yanks Heather inside, tying her up. She fights, but in the struggle, her shirt rips down the middle. He tapes her mouth shut, leaving her helpless. Outside, the mayor and Ollie arrive. The mayor waves Carl away. "We'll handle this." Inside, Heather hears footsteps. Heavy, slow. A chainsaw revs, then a cold, sharp touch on her shoulder. She twists and freezes. Leatherface looms behind her, chainsaw humming at his side. She tries to scream, but the tape muffles it. He steps forward, eyes narrowing. Then he sees it, the bullet scar on her shoulder. The same scar from that night. A flicker of recognition. He rips the tape from her mouth. She gasps for air, then pleads, her voice frantic. "It's me. I'm Heather. I'm your cousin. Please let me go." Leatherface hesitates, and then he slices through her restraints. Before she can react, the mayor and Ollie burst in. They pummel Leatherface, their blows relentless. Heather scrambles away, chest heaving. Outside, she hears his screams. She stops, turns, watches as the mayor wraps a heavy chain around Leatherface's neck, dragging him toward a massive meat grinder. "Turn it on," the mayor orders. Ollie rushes to the switch. Just as he reaches it, Heather lunges. A pitchfork in hand, she drives it through Ollie's gut. He gurgles, collapsing, but the chain pulls tighter. Heather spins, grabs Leatherface's chainsaw, and hurls it toward him. He catches it, revs it, and slices through the chain. He stands. Heather smirks. "Do your thing, cousin." Leatherface charges. The chainsaw tears through the mayor's ankles. He collapses, scrambling backward, unknowingly toward the grinder. Gunshots. Hooper arrives, weapon drawn. The mayor screams, "Shoot him! Shoot him!" Hooper hesitates. Heather's voice cuts through the chaos. "Don't!" Slowly, Hooper lowers his gun. The mayor keeps crawling. He doesn't realize until it's too late. With a final panicked scream, he topples into the grinder. Flesh and bone are shredded. The machine roars. Then, silence. Back at the Sawyer house, Leatherface slumps in a chair. Heather stands beside him. Slowly, she reaches out, but as her fingers brush his face, he rises and disappears into the cellar. Finally, she reads Verna's letter. Verna's voice echoes in her mind. "Jed is the only blood relative you have left. Whether you stay or not, never forget where your home is." Heather exhales, then walks down into the cellar. Leatherface watches as she picks up his tray of food. Without a word, she turns and heads back upstairs. She has decided this is home. With a final resounding slam, Leatherface shuts the metal door. Gavin and Arlene arrive at the mansion, greedy smiles on their faces. They rap on the door, expecting riches. Instead, the door creaks open. A shadow looms. Then, Leatherface steps forward, chainsaw in hand. The screen cuts to black.